Okay, we've got the Dutch on the buck station. Nereus the camera. They're set. Off we go. Here in the eights, the power as they move away from the start pontoon. And you can just look at this condition that they're having to cope with. If there is a bit of a crosswind, you can see the indicator is the flags, isn't it, on the bank of the Berkshire station, on the Berkshire side of the Thames. You can see the flags and the way they're blowing does indicate that crosswind.
Yeah, because it's hard to tell on the water when you're looking, and because they've got coxswains, they'll have people that are there specifically to keep them on track. But it's tough in an 8 because an 8 takes a long time to move. So the goal is ideally not to get too far off track because you want to make a gradual move, but here you don't have a lot of room for error in that. But it looks like a very even start from both crews, and they've come out very evenly and both quite upbeat on top. And we all know how important it is to get out of the start well here at Henley.
Yeah, Abigail Backey and A.S.R in the stroke seat there, you can see, for Oxford Brookes University. If anything, have just got half a length up very early here on the Dutch. And pulling that up to a length now. Moving very fluently. Oxford Brookes, great start from them in this race.
Yeah, that is a great start from Oxford Brookes. They look like they maybe have a little bit more swing, a little bit more drive through the strokes. It'll be interesting to see as we come through the race whether that keeps them moving out or the efficiency of this Dutch crew. But yeah, the Oxford, they kind of look, when they get through the middle, they really kind of throw the bodies back in a good way, I believe.
And that lead is increasing with every stroke, just a few inches every stroke. They're pushing ahead. The Dutch have got their work cut out here. You can see in that boat Eva Gulsa in the bow seat, in the middle of the picture there, the Dutch. And you've got in the stroke seat here Fen Venneker, Stern Beringer, the Cox. So come on then, tell me about, I sit next to Sarah Winklis, our colleague and umpire here at Henley Royal Regatta, and steward, of course, as well. Lots of rowing all around the world. And she, every time a Dutch boat goes on the water, she goes into meltdown about their techniques. What is it that we're watching here in the Dutch boat? Okay, they're trailing just at the moment, but there is something very distinctive about the way they do it. Tell us why their technique is so good.
There is something very distinctive. I think, to me, the Dutch crews are always quite upright. They don't use their bodies a lot, but because of that, they look really efficient. I think they don't do anything extra. When I would always sort of compare to our New Zealand crews, I was like, we were in the water, we were like, effort, we were trying to get the blade through, but they just look like they put it in, nothing extra, and then they're so smooth around the ends. It's like one continuous stroke, nothing stops, nothing starts again. It's the smoothness around the ends that I think is their really defining feature. Yeah,
like smooth running wheels, don't they, like cogs? Whereas in the other boats, sometimes, not in this particular case, but sometimes they look like fighting it a bit more.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way, but I think especially in 8s, as long as everyone's doing the same thing, that's probably the biggest thing to get speed out of a boat. But I mean, the Dutch do make it look lovely as they go fast, whereas, I mean, there's plenty of crews out there that I think go fast, but maybe don't look as effortless.
Well, the Oxford Brookes boat is the faster of the two here. We've been full of praise for the Dutch technique and the way they do it, but they are a couple of lengths down on this boat, who have dropped the rate a little bit. Don't want to drop it too much because you have to step it back up if you have a fright towards the end. But the Cox will have that all under control, I'm sure. Yeah,
it can be very easy, but they look like they're in quite a commanding position at the moment. They're able to drop it down, but still hold a lead that they know. They'll know where the finish line is coming. They'll know how much distance they have. So they really look like they've taken control of this race. And they're also rowing really, really well. Like, I do love how they're swinging through, how they're kind of having that moment to sit on the back, let the boat run. They've obviously been able to drop the rate, which is easier to do that, but how they're doing that movement, I think, will transfer up and rate well.
Abigail Backey, the Cox, as we'll see in a moment, had a very extended look round over the right shoulder to check on the Dutch's progress. There you can see at the front of the boat the action in the Dutch boat. Eva Gorter in the bow seat, having a bit of a wobble.
It's always good at this stage of the week if you can get a race where it doesn't take that full max capacity, because we're really getting into the pointy end now, and as much effort as you can conserve is really important as you're getting into those Saturday races, those Sunday races. So I think the tactic here in this Oxford Brookes crew of going out, getting the lead and just being able to relax that little bit more, I think will set them up well, all going to plan here. Yes. For the days to come.
Well, it's physically and emotionally as well, isn't it? Trying to conserve energy, because it's a long day, a lot of waiting around for your next semi-finals. It will be tomorrow for Oxford Brookes. But you're right, they've got enough of a lead where they can enjoy it and haven't had to dig too deep. Loving that on the pretty much surface of the water. That's how it looks if you're in a boat.
This is my favourite Henley racing shot, with the town in the background, and you can start to see the crowds, and both of these crews will be hearing the grandstand start to cheer for them, and they'll be able to take that in, because it's one of the unique things here. The crowd is so close, and being able to kind of feel like you're a part of that atmosphere is so special, and such a special thing about this regatta.
So the Oxford Brookes University boat in this Island Challenge Cup, moving in front of stewards, which is going to get very busy in the next few hours. Perfect weather for the athletes, I suspect, almost perfect, and for spectators, absolutely perfect. A slight breeze blowing into their face as they sit in those green deck chairs in stewards. There's a bit of a shift going on here from the Dutch, who are trying to fight back. We suspect they've left it a little bit too late, but they are making it competitive in front of stewards.
They are, and when you know this is a do-or-die race, you're going to throw the kitchen sink at it, and you can see here they're not willing to give up to the line, and sometimes it pays off. This one might be slightly too much to claw back, but it's a really impressive effort to keep going, putting that pressure on, and who knows what sort of errors you can force. But the Oxford Brookes crew is looking very relaxed, very control as they come up to this finish line.
So Oxford Brookes University over the line now in the Island Challenge Cup, winning by just over a length, thanks to that ferocious late burst. Lots of energy from the Dutch boat, but not enough to cause Oxford Brookes any real concerns in front of stewards, so they go through.